We have more for your ears only. I'm Eddie Robinson.
I'm David Alpern with this quote from the news. He never gave up on what he truly believed in. He was a bulldog. That was Broadway star Chita Rivera after the death at age 80 of veteran producer Marty Richards, a key backer of her hit show Chicago and many others, including On the 20th Century, Sweeney Todd, and La Cage aux Folles. Now this.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays, 'cause no matter how far away you roam, when you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can be home sweet home.
Despite the lyrics to that Christmas classic from an old Carpenter's TV show, Home for the Holidays can also have a downside. Long-standing tensions and brand-new issues can surface when family members and other close relatives gather. Drama that you've managed to avoid but now find yourself forced to deal with. It's also a time when all the commercially magnified holiday joy may make many people feel more isolated and even depressed.
Here to talk about how to minimize stress during what should be a season of cheer for your ears only is Dr. Pamela Thompson, psychologist and professional life coach. Her latest book is Surviving Mama, Overcoming Strained Mother-Daughter Relationships. Dr. Thompson, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
What have you found to be the most common and most crippling kinds of stress this holiday season?
Well, this particular year, people are dealing with, obviously, so many financial stressors, and believe it or not, there are so many marriages that are sort of forced to stay together, if you will, because of the economy. And that can be a good thing, obviously, because we want marriages to flourish and do well. However, it puts people in unusual strain at holiday time when there's so much pressure to be happy and travel and be around people who are extended members of the family, while all the while you know there's this gnawing sensation inside of you that your marriage is going south, and it's going south pretty rapidly.
You have a series of tips to handle common holiday stress. Tell us a bit about each of these. First, avoid or reduce toxic conversations.
Yes, I talk about that quite extensively in my book, Surviving Mama, that as adults, we certainly do have the authority to exercise choice in our life. It's one of the privileges of being an adult. And so for those people who have been naysayers in your life, and sometimes that's mama, sometimes that's sister, brother, daddy, mother-in-law, grandmama, whoever, we can excuse ourselves from the conversation, or we can begin to distract to other topics the very second, and I do mean the very second, that somebody starts to rain on your parade. And if you know that that's historically how they relate to you, we have to stop expecting them to be somebody different just because we want them to be. So one of the tips that I give in the book is we have to stop expecting elephants to meow, because they don't. And so when people are in character, we have to be braced for that and respond accordingly.
You also advise us to resist responses to detracting comments peacefully. Talk about that.
Yes, the thing about it is that there are some people, as sad and unfortunate as it is, that just are button pushers, and they're professional button pushers, and they study people's buttons, and they know the ones to push. And so when we're in the company of people who try to hook us in to debate and argument and conflict and hostility because they push those particular buttons that they've pushed before and have had great success snagging us, we have to be prepared for that. And so when I say to abstain from getting involved in that peacefully, what I mean is that you don't have to have a big old hostile, argumentative, screaming, shouting kind of confrontation about it, but you can be very subtle but yet resolved and firm in the way that you communicate to somebody, I'm not available for that conversation anymore. You can say something just that simply, and it really is your body posturing that makes the difference. The eye contact, the steel presence about your body, no smiles on the face, but just, saying in a peaceful and calm and resolved voice, I'm no longer available for you to detract from my dreams, my hopes, my wishes, and so I'm going to forgive you for that. And I'm going to go, into the other room and watch some TV and just exit quietly.
Your book, Surviving Mama, deals with the particular dysfunctional dynamics that can occur in mother-daughter relationships. What is it that makes those relationships especially challenging or draining in the holiday season and beyond?
Well, it's really sort of the same-sex parent-child relationship that comes with some extra vulnerabilities. And it just so happens that the same kinds of things can occur between fathers and sons, but men are more apt to sit around and watch football or get involved in some kind of activity that doesn't necessarily require a lot of verbalization. Women, on the other hand, have to talk about their feelings, and we want to clear the air, and we want you to know that you hurt my feelings. So for women, I'll just speak on that in particular. It's always interesting when the daughter is now an adult and she has to relate to her mother as another woman, and now we are woman to woman and not parent to child, and we have to now figure out the new rules and conditions and terms of our relationships at a time when mothers are not necessarily the most open to change. They're not the most flexible as they get older, and they're set in their ways, and here you are talking about change. We also have to be aware that women generationally have experienced much greater access to success and money-making abilities and career options in the world. And so that generational gap alone creates a certain amount of exposure and a certain amount of opportunity for the younger generation that is makes it a built-in source of tension.
Dr. Pamela Thompson is an author, psychologist, and professional life coach. She can be reached through Twitter at Surviving Mama or on her website, survivingmama.com and drpamthompson.com.
For the holidays you can be home, sweetheart.
And this has been For Your Ears Only.